Welcome back to Tom and Levi's Notepod. For this episode, we're gathering around the campfire to discuss Red Dead Redemption 2, the long-awaited sequel to the Western action game Red Dead Redemption. Today we're going to be joined by our good pal and longtime friend of the show, Dan. Welcome, Dan.
Hey there, boss. Great to be here.
Howdy.
Now, Dan has been around for a while, and he's just as excited to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, aren't you, Daniel?
I cannot wait.
We've been messaging about this since it came out, just exchanging our ideas of where the story's going to go, following the story.
Don't make me sound desperate though.
And
it's like low key. don't make it more than it is, Levi.
It's no big deal. And then Tom saw that we were having so much fun and actually ended up buying a PlayStation for it, didn't you, Tom?
I did, and it's the best purchase I've made this year.
It's just there's so much hype that it is worth buying a whole new console for.
Well, I wanted to get a PS4 for a while, and that sort of pushed me over the edge, and I'm glad I made that jump.
I feel like the purchase of so many consoles has been due to one game. I think I bought a PS4 for The Last of Us, and then I bought a Switch because Breath of the Wild came out. So I can see it's that kind of game.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer in the game industry.
Yeah, I nearly bought another PS4 for Red Dead. It's that
seriously,
good.
mine. Because not only that, you know this, that my fucking PlayStation sounds like a Boeing jet engine. Whenever I try to boot up a game that's over 40 gigabytes, it just has to get the afterburners on and have to throw a couple of coals on it to get it to work.
Totally agree. Yeah, same.
But yeah, we're gonna. I want to ask firstly what your experience with the first Red Dead Redemption is.
So I'll kick this off. Sorry.
Tom's got so much to say about the first game, haven't you?
I didn't play the first one at all, so I have a fresh perspective of someone inexperienced with the Red Dead franchise.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing to actually.
No, in a way, I was quite happy not to have any idea what to expect from at least the characters.
Coming in super fresh.
Yeah, Thomas is quite fortunate because Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel, so he's set himself up to go back to the first one and see what he thinks of that one.
To be fair, how old is Red Dead 1 now? That came out
in 2010.
Yeah, so 7 or 8
years ago now.
Jesus. I'm pretty much forgotten about it at this point. It feels so long. This was completely fresh to me now, so.
I remember trading in a ton of PSP and DS games just so I could buy it from Argos.
So worth
And I
it.
remember sheepishly looking to get it, and I remember the drive home and pulling out the map and reading the manual and stuff like that because I was so excited to play it.
Oh, they were the good days, weren't they? You'd take out the rabbit in the car and you're just reading the manual just to pass the time. Reading the blurb
Classic.
My mum was like, I quickly need to pop into Tesco. I'm like, fuck off, mum, I'm fucking playing the game.
You're there, you take the disc out of the fucking box, you're just looking at that.
Spinning it on my finger.
This work? You try and put it in the CD player of the car.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hoping that a PlayStation 2 screen, an Xbox screen is going to pop out.
Come on, at least a soundtrack.
Well, that used to happen on PlayStation 1 games where you could do that, and you could put in a CD and it would play all it's basically a CD player as well.
Yeah.
How about that?
And if you put in a game and then went on that second screen, it would play all the music from the game. It was pretty cool. But anyway, I digress. My experience with it was kind of... Yeah, I heard that there was going to be a Western. I heard it was Rockstar. I was like, I need to play this. I was so excited. I don't know if I got it on the day, but I got it pretty close. And like I said, traded all my games. I literally played it non-stop. And that was when I was 14, 15?
So yeah, probably around that time.
I had no responsibilities. I had nothing else I needed to do. I could just play that game. So I must have played through it 4 or 5 times, the story, and it was just...
Really? I only played it once.
Awesome. Yeah, but... and there was the online as well, so you should
online
join your
was
pals
great
and
fun,
do that.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's always something I wanted to play, because the whole Western setting is something that's always appealed to me. I love Western films, and it's so... I don't know. It's like a boyhood sort of dream.
Yeah. I think that's when I realised it's a fantasy when I played Red Dead 2. I was like, holy shit, I didn't realise how much I wanted this.
What I like is that Rockstar seem to have done with the games that I wanted, the concepts. I always wanted there to be a game set in a school, and then they made Bully, or Canis Knem Edit.
Yeah.
I always wanted like a detective game, and Rockstar made that in LA Noire, which I think is underrated, and Tom and I will preach for that game for the longest time.
I think each game they've made, it's been like the exact vibe I wanted from that kind of...
And they get it right.
world.
They really like nail it in some way.
Yeah,
like,
you always get a AAA experience, I think.
Exactly. But yeah, that's why I have a big experience. So I was expecting a lot from Red Dead Redemption 2, basically. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tom, it's a little bit different because he's never even played the first
one,
so
but
he had nothing to compare it.
I sort of avoided a lot of the promotional material for a long time because I thought, well, I won't be playing it. But then I saw like a gameplay trailer and I was like, holy shit, this looks incredible.
Yeah, there wasn't much material anyway to like avoid. Was it like 3-4 trailers? Like 10 screenshots?
Well, yeah, like, I mean, so I guess like that's kind of covered like the first game and like our experiences with it. Me and Dan had it, we loved it. Tom is going in completely blind. And I think that's an interesting thing to talk about when we actually talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. So I just want to ask you guys like what your first impressions were like from the intro of the game, because I got it at midnight. Like,
yeah, we both played at midnight, didn't we?
So Dan and I
was
were
actually
messaging.
ramming it just.
He's like preloaded it as well. I went to a proper store opening.
I couldn't wait. I literally couldn't wait that long.
No, and like so I was waiting in store, and it was so cool to, like to me at least, to see like all these fucking people like waiting for this one video game. It just showed how big a Rockstar game is that people literally like there's a whole line going down the street just to play this game. Like that's how big it is. And it was so worth it as well. Like I got there about like 1:45 and it was packed.
Did you get any
and,
goodies?
Like, I was waiting outside. There was like, well, you could get like
classic
these extra
oat
goodies.
cakes, is that it?
You actually got like wild carrots, yeah. But no, it was just like it was just one of those experiences that made me like kind of like I don't know, just being a gamer, it just felt like nice to be surrounded by other nerds ready to play this fucking game.
Yeah, I think if I did go to a midnight release, that would have been the best one to go to, because I've never been to one before, but I was so enthusiastic about this fucking game.
Yeah,
and I could do is talk about it for the like 2 weeks prior to release.
Seriously, like there was ongoing messages between Dan and I about what we were hoping to see, what we were going to get, the fact that we were going to posse up when the online came out, that kind of thing. There was so much to talk about. And and I just remember playing it, and I remember my first impression was, after the 100 gigabyte download, which I had to wait like an hour for, was just like, this is just the look of the game. It looked fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. Just when you turn it on, you think this is what the next generation of games is going to look like.
Oh,
like
yeah,
this is the
definitely.
Standard.
It blew me away, like, because obviously you start in the snow, and it's all dark, and it's like, oh god, this lighting looks incredible.
It's so intense from the off as well.
Yeah, it really throws you in. It's great.
Yeah, they don't pull any punches. Like, people think it's like kind of a slow start, but I think it's perfect. Yeah. You know that shit's gone down. The thing is, the writing really, really helps them kind of like explain what's happened to you, but without it being too overly expository. So you know that you're fucked. You're in this cold area. You've got the boss there, and he's telling you what's going on. You're learning the ropes as you go. I thought it was a really good start, and some people thought it was actually like a bit underwhelming, but I thought it was the perfect pace to kind of let you in, because there is so much to this game. Exactly. And the fact that they drip feed it a little bit is probably helpful to you, because you're not... Because some games just throw you in, and you're like, fuck, no, wait, I need to do this, and there's this system, and I have to do that. Like, what?
Like, even throughout the like game, like, obviously you just come from Blackwater after the like failed robbery or whatever. But even when you play like the rest of the game, they never really like delve into what actually happened there, apart from like the odd little tidbit like in missions.
Yeah, and it's like ambiguous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever fill that in with some sort of DLC?
I don't think they will. There's multiplayer's out now, so why bother?
Yeah. I feel that's what I'm worried about. Like with the first Red Dead Redemption, you had like Undead Nightmare, and you know, it just felt like, and they've made a fully fleshed out like second story with that. And even like Grand Theft Auto 4, you remember they did Ballad of Gay Tony and was it the
Lost
and
Damned?
One called? Lost and Damned, yeah, a whole different story. And they didn't do that with GTA 5. You're not going to see any single player GTA DLC now, are you? For the fifth game?
No, not a chance.
So that's what I would love to see them do more with the main game, but I think the model is we make money by playing online, so let's invest all our time into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to digress, it was the look of the game that caught my eye first, like the kind of like footprints in the snow, and like, you know, the way that like snow like lands on like your clothes, and you know, and then like going to that first house and like learning how to shoot, and like it feeling really responsive.
Yeah, it's like when you're like traveling over to that first house, it's like so daunting. You have no idea what you're going to like walk
so
into.
bleak as well.
It's just like you barely see anything in front of you, and then you see that house with like the warm like orange lights, and inside of it, it's just incredible. Like even that. And
like you mentioned, Dan, like the lighting and stuff, which seems like every game like has good lighting, but it feels so prominent in this game, and you're actually like you can tell when you're in a different time of the day, or if you're like riding through the fog and stuff like that, you see light bouncing around it. It really makes a difference. Like as you're like traveling around, because most of your time on this game is going to be spent on horseback.
I think that's where I spend most of my time.
Yeah, exactly. There is like a fast travel element that you can use.
No, I try to avoid that.
I didn't use it once. I didn't use it at all. I got on the train a few times, but
yeah,
I used it if I had to go to like a trapper or something.
Yeah, exactly. If it felt like far away and you wanted to quickly get there, then sure.
Yeah, I think it's testament to the game that you want to spend so much time on your horse.
Yeah, and you can like, and with that you get like a more loyal horse, and they can learn different things, and you kind of like
rewards you for using your horse, isn't it?
Yeah, and you kind of create this bond with your horse inadvertently because you spend so much time with it, and it feels like a living thing that you've got to feed and maintain.
Like my son.
And
So what did you name your horses? Like your main horse for the game?
I named my main horse was a male horse called Willard. Because I couldn't think. I wanted to think of the most Western horsey name ever. I was like, "Come on, Willard."
What kind of horse was it?
It was actually like a it was a grey horse, but it had like black spots on it.
Nice.
So it's kind of unique. Great horse. Love that boy.
So I had the Arabian, the white horse.
I got that. I fucking hated it. I hated it. It was too small. Because it was Dutch's horse as well, so I was like, I can't have the same horse as him.
No, but you gotta customise it. Yeah, I gave it like black mohawk, black tail.
Tom was just trying to land his Dutch cosplay. Dutch turns around like, Arthur, what are you doing? You look like me.
Hey,
well, Arthur's like, well, maybe I've got a plan.
What was the what do you call your horse?
I called it Elizabeth.
Ooh. Elizabeth.
Yes. I don't know why.
That's like calling a dog Dave.
She was beautiful.
Hey, come here, Lizzie.
Come on, Liz.
Come on,
Liz.
What
about you, Dan? Tell us about your horse.
I had this. I actually checked earlier. It's like I wanted to remember because you know what
important
happens.
Details.
But yeah, it was like this thoroughbred. It's like a reverse black dapple, like really nice coat, and I called it Frank and gave it like a black mohawk. He was so fucking sick.
I can't believe you're not going to give Dan shit for calling his horse Frank. And I get to call it Elizabeth.
I love Frank.
Elizabeth's so wordy at first, but yeah, good old Frank.
I love a single syllable name. That's, you know,
I mean, my first horse was called Ted. Does that count? But
I had one called Gravy, which is like a really shit one.
Gravy, brilliant.
I think I actually killed it because I was just doing my thing.
Oh, Ted hit so many trees, bless him. And then he drowned, following. I was driving a train and he followed me and then drowned in the sea.
I bet you fucking did that on purpose.
Oh, Tom, Ted, I never had so much trouble like crashing horses. I did it a few times, but Tom has done it so often.
I just lost concentration, or I was looking at something else, or like I found myself looking at the mini map, like the radar. Just I don't know, just like, oh, what's that icon? And then taking a corner way too wide, twatting into the tree.
I think the worst like time where my horse actually died is I jumped on the train at Valentine. I didn't like buy a ticket. I just jumped on.
Yeah.
So my horse is like following along, and I'm kind of stood on the roof of this train, and my horse is like it's like it's near the like oil refinery place, just outside of Valentine, and then I see my horse running after me, and it runs straight into a fucking pole, and then it goes under the fucking train, and then I'm like too late to react. I fucking go to jump down. By the time I jump down, I'm already like 300 meters away. I'm sprinting, and then I just see the like saddle icon come up on the map. I was like, he's fucking dead.
No amount of horse reviver is going to bring that horse back.
I did like career my Ted. Yeah, it was Ted. He went flying off a mountain and died. And I ran all the way to Saint Denis to get a horse reviver. I was so upset. I spent about an hour in real time.
You went from the mountains to Saint Denis.
That's not a sign that it immerses you. Then I don't know what is. The fact that you're going to run to the nearest city to get like some pills for your horse.
I'm so
that horse is long gone.
Fucking.
By the time you turn around, that thing is dead. God, that's it.
I think I died like 3 times just trying to get back to him.
I love how this has become mainly about our horses and how we fucked them up.
No, but that's testament to the game because we cared so much about your
You'll
horse.
spend a lot of your time with your horse, and if you're Tom, apparently killing a lot as well.
I mean, guys, what is the worst way you fucked up your horse? What's the most savage fucking thing?
Hey, do you know what the funny thing is? It's usually my horse fucking up other people. Like when I call it, and then it just fucking like some girl's like, "Hey, what the hell?" and then just crack.
It just turns around, its head just fucking knocking into it.
I've been kicked in the face by my horse way more times than I care to admit as well. Like I'm walking behind it and then a crocodile comes up and just boots me in the face out of fear. So then a fucking alligator's like biting at my heels because I've been twatted to the ground by my horse.
Because every time you're looking at like someone else's saddlebag, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever got into another horse's saddlebag without getting booted.
Apparently, you can tell if it's going to boot you or not. If you look at its ears, I think if the ears are pointing forward, it's not going to boot you off, and you're free to search and loot. But if not, if they're pointed back, they're like, yeah.
Well, this brings me to my next point: is that Rockstar really have talked about the attention to detail, and there are so many things that even I'm still learning. Like
you see new things all the time.
When a body dies, it decomposes after time. If you leave it out in the sun, it does it quicker, and you start to see the rot on their face.
Yeah, I've noticed that with animals as well.
Yeah, and it's not even something I realised until like I saw a video on it, and you start like understanding that they've put a lot of time into just the tiniest little things.
It helps
but then
establish, doesn't it, that it's a real living world.
Yeah, and like think of just like the other things that weren't in the previous game, so like hair growth. Seeing that, and like when you're out in the grizzlies hunting, and you've been there long enough that you've got a full-on beard, and you've got long hair, and you've got a fucking bear's head you're wearing on as a hat, and you just think like this is so cool. Like this is exactly what I wanted. This kind of attention to detail to make it seem more genuine, like you've been around for a long time. You got the big bushy beard, and your hair's grown out. Or you can make yourself clean, and you can cut your hair and then put some hair pomade on it and.
I spent so much money. In fact, that's probably the only thing I spent money on was making myself look good.
Yeah, I was funny. Thinking, what threads can I get next?
Yeah, and you can like go for a bath, and every time a like woman knocks on the door, I'm like, I'm trying to get clean. Get away. It's like, can I help? I was like, nah, you won't do it right.
You know what? I actually think I bathed Arthur more than I did myself. I probably bathed Arthur like twice a day.
I think he ate better as well.
Seriously, well, when I got the game, I was telling this to Dan, I bought like a fatty 15-inch meat pizza and was just wallowing in my own filth for about 8 hours, and I had a 10 a.m. lecture the same day.
Oh my god.
Within an hour, you're literally there cooking pizza on a knife.
I'm literally sticking my knife into it, and I've created a fire on the carpet in my room. And then my roommate walks in, I'm like, we weren't the ones who changed. Like, alright, well, I'll see you later then.
Have some goddamn faith.
I got a plan. But I want to, we always talk about these quotes. I want to talk about, how Rockstar markets games, and they did it perfectly with this game.
By just basically not marketing them.
They basically gave us, an inch of gameplay, and it made us just want the whole thing.
An inch is all you need, baby.
Exactly. We just needed a little inch to just push us through.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'm excited for this game. Of course I am. But nothing's popped up. About a month or so before the release.
You didn't even know who the main character was.
No, we knew nothing. I mean, they literally didn't want to tell us anything. And I think it's because, Rockstar promises good games, don't they? Like, when you hear that they're making a game, you think it's going to be good. Like, nowadays, you hear about Grand Theft Auto 5, you never thought it was going to be a disappointment. There's always going to be something that's going to make you want to play it all the way through.
Yeah.
And and Red Dead Redemption 1 was so good because they spent so much time on it. Think about how many delays they had for Red Dead 2. It's because they want to make a brilliant game.
Jesus. Was it like, it was like a year and a half in delays, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of controversy, wasn't there, about the workers at Rockstar working ridiculous
100-hour
hours.
weeks.
Yeah.
They put a lot of time
100-hour days.
And you can really tell.
Yeah, it's, I mean...
I can really tell they're overworked. Really paid off.
I can hear the slavery sweat dripping on the floorboards.
You have to look for hidden messages of people like begging to see their families. Please let me see my family.
There's actually a grave in Coots Chapel that was actually someone who died making the game.
Oh my god. That's what you get with 100-hour weeks.
100-hour days making the game. But yeah, like the thing is, like, I saw these trailers for Red Dead and I just thought, like, oh fuck, now I really want to play it. They know how to sink you in just before. You could just hear the pre-order numbers like going up the minute they showed gameplay. They knew exactly what they were doing. Other games shifted their games to come out earlier or later because they knew that Red Dead Redemption was going to completely take it over.
Yeah, you just can't compete with that, can you?
Yeah, like Black Ops 4, like that's the biggest game I can think of, and they like literally released it earlier, so they were like, play some online before you go riding out in the West, guys, please. Because it's just like, that's it, that's what you get with a Rockstar game.
Quality.
Yeah, you get quality. But
Quadruple A+ quality.
So, like...
Detail, story, characters, you name it, they've got it.
Yeah. Thanks for the sell. The hard sell from Dan.
If you haven't got this game yet, you need to buy it now. Online has just come out. Let's get going, guys. Posse up. Let's party together online.
Seriously, posse up and pussy up. Let's go. But how did you... So, when we're talking about how we played the game... I feel like when I'm talking to you guys, and when I've talked to other people who've played it, I feel like our experiences are always a little bit different. Either things we've come across or like the honourable choices we've made. Something different always pops up. Like, how do you think like your choices are different to what other people have told you?
I think I always tried to be such a goody two shoes. I was so polite and nice, and I waved at everyone I drove past, everyone I met in the saloon. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start a fight. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry.
Every time it's just an accident.
Diffuse button,
All
diffuse.
the time. I don't know. It's not
I
like
mean nothing by it, mister.
like, and it's not like as if you're like scared of the consequences, because you know that you'll just like nutshot them 6 times if it did start a fight. But like, you know, you kind of care about the environment and the little world. You don't really want to
dick it up. It's not the person you want to be.
Like,
yeah. You realise that it has an effect as well. It's like legit. If your honour's low, then people look at you differently. They act at you differently.
Yeah.
If you're more honourable, like the civilians have like a more like positive disposition towards you, it can actually change the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I felt like how Arthur behaved in that game was like a direct reflection of me.
Yeah.
So
you begin,
if these people are
immerse
antagonising
yourself.
me, I'm like, they're fucking talking to me. I've really fucked up.
Yeah. We don't want no trouble, mister.
We remember what you did here, boy.
Yeah, exactly, because you robbed a stagecoach, and they were like, we don't forget. When you have a bounty on your head and you waltz through town, you literally, I'm just like, straight to the post office. Like,
well, you have a bounty for like shooting up the shop, and then you come back a day later to the shop, and they're like,
hey there, mister.
How can I help you?
Yeah. I saw a fella look like you. Nah, but he had a mask on. Which can hide your identity.
Have you seen that clip of the guy with like the massive like 10 out of 10 beard? And then he takes off the bandana, it just fucking flies out.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you hide that thing? That's my one complaint about the game. Is the inaccuracies with the bandana covering up the facial hair.
Yeah. But like Tom and I were talking about like even just like the way your character looks and what you can wear like changes how I feel. Like I had this huge mustache throughout the whole game. Like,
I literally
only
grew
my
it the whole
mustache.
time.
And it made me like when I didn't have it, like you know when you see the trailers of Red Dead, you're like, oh my god, yeah, that's what Arthur looks like without a freaking beard.
You forget, don't you?
I forgot how he looks so young without the massive mustache.
But he looks so
that I
like
gave him.
rugged and like older when he's got the facial hair. So that was how I
Did
painted
you have it like
him
groomed?
in my head.
Was it like sort of like did it curl up? Because that's the sort of mustache
I had just
I had.
I had a natural mustache, and then and then
you had the
later
curly
on,
one.
a little later on, I went for a curly one just to see what it was like, but it did feel like the character to me. This is exactly like what Dan was saying about like feeling like you're a part of it. I was like, nah, this is what I want him to be, because that's how I want to go. So I want him to have this kind of like natural, thick-ass mustache.
For me, it's just like a beard simulator. I just need a fucking beard that
like,
good. It's never
Tom's
going to
like
happen.
Chapter 2, playing through beards. That's
Like
it.
I've seen some of your screenshots, Tom, of what you want him to look like, and he looks quite smart. Whereas my Arthur kind of has like a kind of duster coat, looks a bit like bedraggled, looks like he's kind of like, you know, sort of like an oldie timey looking dude.
Yeah, I went
But
for
you
like
can
the
go for, like,
suit and bowler hat.
I did
Was
that quite a lot
a-
as well. Like pretty clean cut.
Yeah,
I always
and,
look pretty smart. But then there are times where you just got to get like the bandit kind of thing going on.
Oh, well, you
Oh,
take the
yeah.
jacket off,
Nice
roll the
leather
sleeves
coat.
up.
Yeah.
Button up the shirt or button it down if you're feeling like you're ready to go to business.
Yeah, so much of the time I just have like a nice clean like shirt on.
I've got my
nice
boots
trousers.
white
going
shirt.
over the trousers.
Oh.
That was like
Instead
the
of
first
underneath.
thing I did. I went straight to the shop and bought really lovely new clothes. It was great.
Yeah,
That's
I went
all
to
I
the-
spent money
I went-
on.
I went to the barber. I was like, I got to see what hairdos I'm dealing with here. I've never had like a buzz cut. I was like, that ain't very Western.
Nah.
I went for the like right parted fade for a lot of it.
I
Right
went
at the
for the
beginning,
slick
and then I
back.
just... Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
slick
I
back and then
pomaded it
like
every
fade on the
opportunity.
sides.
I never did.
Every
I quite
chance
liked
I
it when it
had.
looks a bit rough. Like
Mm.
when he had like long hair.
That's true.
I start
I
from
kinda-
scratch right at the beginning. Start off clean, then it feels like I'm proper starting then. And then every
I
bit
start-
of hair is mine.
That
It's
belongs
not
to me.
You start comparing your real life hair growth to his. You're like,
Yeah.
how does he do it?
I've literally like looked in the mirror at my beard and I'm like, I need to buy that fucking hair growth drink.
Yeah, hair tonic, boy.
Hair tonic, yeah. World famous hair tonic.
I've still
But-
got nowhere near getting a 10 out of 10 beard. I think I've been stuck on 7 for like ages.
I don't know if I can commit to it. I'm trying to get a 10 out of 10 mustache, but
Dan, you've mentioned this, but I will literally like go downstairs to make a cup of tea and I'm like chatting in like a Western accent. I'm chatting to my roommates. I'm like, how you doing, partner?
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
talk
"What?"
to
And
my
they're like,
dog.
I mean-
like, when I see my dog, I'm like, oh, you're right, girl. Like, I'm doing that shit.
Why?
Easy, girl.
Thing is, I just assume that my dog fucking loves it and she understands. Like,
Did you find when you were playing the game that like you had your own little like itinerary? Like I would wash at the right time. I was like, oh, I need a wash. Oh, I need to get a haircut now. It's growing out a little bit. Like I best visit the tailor before I do this story mission.
yeah, I do that actually. I try and dress for the right mission.
Like, I
Absolutely. Oh my god.
I'm about to see Sadie, so I best like get the hair pomade out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. One thing I noticed really weird about Sadie, is like I almost like mirrored her without fucking realizing, because you know when you go to Rhodes and she gets that like yellow shirt and brown trousers combo.
Yeah. No spoilers, by the way.
No,
That doesn't
no.
spoil anything for anybody involved.
It's a bit late now. Sorry, guys. But in
Shit, she
in
wears
chapter
yellow.
2,
I need to turn this off.
in chapter 2, I was wearing that exact same fucking outfit, yellow shirt, brown trousers, and then I went to buy, I think it's the gold Turkoman, the horse, and it turns out she had the fucking exact same horse. I'm
Oh
like,
my
what
God.
the
That's like going to a party and you have the
Meant
same
to each
red
other.
checkered shirt on.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, do I take it off or do? It's like
Or the
Tom
same
and I wore the
Christmas
same.
jumper.
Tom and I
Yeah.
went to the pub and wore the same Christmas PlayStation jumper.
This was such nice nerdy
That kind of
nerds.
embarrassment.
God,
There was
that
no
was
embarrassment. It was planned. I planned it. You may not have.
nice. I plan to
certainly
be
did
embarrassed.
Yeah. Tom
Go
loves
prepared.
I can't wait to embarrass Levi. It's going to be so embarrassing for him.
To digress slightly, gentlemen, beyond embarrassment.
We need Christmas jumper DLC. I totally agree.
Yeah, turn it on.
Continue, please.
I noticed when I was playing the game is that I'd be on my way to a mission and then something would happen, like I'd come across a gang, they'd try and hold me up, or I'd see like a question mark for like a stranger mission.
You have to do everything. You get like fear of missing out otherwise.
Like, exactly. Fuck. I was like,
I don't know if this is going to happen again.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can actually miss stuff, though. I think there was a DLC.
Oh yeah, I definitely missed stuff.
There was something involved. There was an extra mission in one of the like bonus edition versions of the game.
Yeah,
like, if you didn't do it, you just couldn't do it. It was some bank robbery, I think.
Was it? Yeah, was it one in Valentine? I don't know if that was the bonus one.
No, because I didn't have it, so I don't know.
There's actually quite a few things I think that are missable. So to anyone who's listening, I would say it's worth a second playthrough. Like it's one game that I'm actually excited for a second playthrough, which doesn't happen too often. Like,
I'd like to play it.
Like I could start playing it again, like pretty much.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, this part of the podcast is going to be full of spoilers, so if you want to stop listening from this point on, that's fine. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.
I want Arthur back, baby.
Oh my god! Right, if we've gone past the spoiler territory, I miss Arthur.
You shouldn't even
be
here, to be honest.
So I'm gonna cut in a little bit where I mention like, okay, beyond this point is spoilers, because Dan's just hit a bombshell.
Come on,
no warning.
So let me just say
this been
now.
like a month now. Yeah, I do actually feel kind of bad though. I literally said spoiler alert, and I didn't even draw breath.
But yes, this is the section of the podcast where we talk about the story and the spoilers of the story as well. So if you've completed the game, this is a good time to hear our hot take on it. So Dan, seems like you hit us with a fucking bombshell. Why don't you tell us what you thought of the story?
Oh god, it was an emotional roller coaster.
I was so invested.
It's like you just get attached to all the characters, and Arthur Morgan especially, because you spend so many hours with him, and even like when you're just playing as Arthur, it feels like his own company is good enough. Like sometimes when you get drunk and you're riding a horse, you hear him like singing songs to himself, and it's like a little adventure with like you and him. It's fucking amazing.
It's nice. It's quite easy, I think, in a single player game to just sort of detach yourself from the actual character of the person you're playing as, and
so
think
easy.
that it's you. But he actually had so much personality and character to him.
He's such a likeable character as well.
Yeah, you didn't feel like you were playing as him so much as sort of controlling him.
Yeah, I can't believe how invested I got in the character of Arthur, because because what I heard, because I knew that Red Dead 2 was going to be, the minute I heard it was a prequel, I was like, okay, I was like, what, so we're riding with like Dutch gang, like how am I going to, like Dutch was a bit of an asshole, how am I going to feel like invested with this guy? But the character of Arthur, the characters that you meet, the posse, like the whole Vanderling gang, they're so full of character, and you get to know them and you do tasks for them. You really they really do a good job of immersing you through like characterization, stuff like that. It just kind of pulls you in, and Arthur's so likable. And even as the story goes on, where you start to see the fall of Dutch, the fact that you still remain with Arthur, and like the way you feel about Dutch kind of channels how Arthur's feeling. It's
really strange how that works. Like I really felt like sometimes I was a bit annoyed at how much Arthur was following him. Like you wouldn't have wanted to make some of this like decisions.
Yeah, you're like, this guy's way too trusting of this dude.
Yeah, you could see the like reluctance though.
Do you think that's because you both played the first one and knew that Dutch was a bad guy?
Yeah,
because obviously I didn't play it and I didn't know anything about Dutch, and I was like, I should probably just trust Dutch. He seems to know what he's doing.
Yeah,
and like
I still like trusted him for like the vast majority of the game until.
Well, it's
like,
nice. It's even from your perspective, Tom. You could start to see the kind of the way that his character became more unhinged.
Yeah, and you notice the separation in the camp. I think my favourite part of the whole game is when you go down to save what's his name, Eagle Flies from the oil refinery bit, and it's that moment where the whole gang splits in half.
Yeah,
and you've got all the best characters with you. And you're just riding down.
You've got Eagle Flies and you're riding, and the music kicks in, and you feel so badass. I was telling you this, Tom. I messaged you about this, but when that happened, I was like sat on my bed playing, and I was like, shit, I've got to like sit like at my desk and just like turn up my speakers because it was so cool.
Oh, it was insane.
I screenshot that moment when you're all riding down on horseback into that oil refinery. That was fucking badass.
It was so badass. And then that was the point where Dutch leaves you for dead. That kind of thing you start to see.
I was like gripping my fist. I was like,
yeah, it's true, and it gets you invested. You're like, what the fuck? You know, this is the guy that you followed the whole time, and they do such a good job without being too overly expository that is it. This is Dutch not giving a shit. He's crazy. Like, you know, he doesn't know what's going on. He's lost his way. He's not moved along with the times, and that's going to get you in trouble.
I think in that like room as well, like he's all about like helping Arthur while they're trying to find that fucking like bit of money. As soon as he got to that, he just fucking leaves him for dead. It really summed it up like so quick.
Well, it was like for $2,000 as well. It was barely enough to escape, and it
wasn't even enough. They needed
he was
more.
Clinging on.
It was such a like shit situation.
But don't you think this is weird that this is like? Can you think of another game where the main character has died of illness?
Yeah, I really like that actually. I think it gave him a reason to like...
The Walking Dead with Lee.
Oh yeah, Lee.
Come on. Sorry.
I think him having that illness, that's what brought the like redemption part of the story in.
Yeah.
He
has time. He's making amends for his actions and trying to do right by the people in his life that he feels deserve a life beyond his.
Yeah, because for quite a long time you wonder where the redemption is coming from, like how it's all going to end. Yeah. But
and then the dead bit comes in. Where's the red?
There is dead and redemption.
Oh, I'll tell you one of my most like emotional moments is when you, it's where Sadie and is it Abigail on the horses, and you like say like, oh, you gotta go whatever, and he's trying to like find John.
Yeah.
And Abigail tells you the location of the chest with all the money in, and she's like, I always was a good thief.
Oh, my god.
That fucking
because at that moment you think, oh, maybe Johnny's dead. Well, I did, because I hadn't played the first one. And I just assumed. I was like, well, shit, never mind. John was alright. Yeah.
Oh, and
how did you not know John's on the front cover? You literally
because I didn't know that it was a sequel, a prequel. I had no idea what the connection was.
Oh, I suppose so. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like when Mikey comes over and he's like, John's dead. I was like, oh shit, is he? It's like, oh, what the fuck?
Well, basically, they left him for dead, so they said he was dead. That just shows how crazy he is, that Dutch didn't give a shit to go back.
Yeah, fucking Micah polluted his mind.
Yeah. I mean, I want to talk like just about how well written these characters are. There's so many memorable quotes from that game that like you just and that they're so indicative of each character. Just like, you know, Arthur's always like kind of, you can see that he's trying to like make amends for what he's done, and you can just see the craziness that Dutch is going through.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur's just such a fucking good guy, man.
Yeah,
well,
you really vouch for him. You really want him. Like, I feel like even if you had like a pretty bad run, like a dishonorable run, he does so much to try and help the people around him. Even if he's like, because he never claims to be a good person, but he still does right by these people. I'm curious as to like how much that would change it, but you know.
Well, I think that's no more clear than with the Downs storyline, that little sub story with the Downs. You know, the guy who he gets tuberculosis off of. Yeah. And his family. And
and he helps them, yeah, and he wants to.
He sort of redeems himself towards the end.
But he doesn't even ask for thanks. He feels like he needs to. It's like it's something he has to do.
Yeah, like
to make amends.
He's got his comeuppance from what he's done, and obviously, that bit when you kick out Strauss from the camp.
Yeah, that was sick, wasn't it?
Fuck you, man.
It was nice, yeah.
He's such an evil bastard, wasn't he?
Because you do the last one, and instead of saying like go to Strauss, it says confront Strauss.
Yeah.
I was like, Leopold's going to get his comeuppance.
Like, who's the real bad guy of the whole situation? Was it?
I think he doesn't do anything, but he's like the law-abiding kind of like just fucking evil bastard.
Yeah, he's just exploiting people who don't have like a choice.
Then Arthur gets a bad rap for actually enforcing it. Really, he's just who's the asshole.
Yeah, exactly. But
so much character.
Like, well, there's obviously, and then it sets up the epilogue. Who noticed that he was ill, the minute he started coughing in between randomly in certain scenes, I was like, something's
some
right
bastard
here.
ruined it for me anyway, so I knew it was coming. Fucking sucks.
That's a shame. It was when you get back from Guarma, and I sort of noticed that, well, he looks about as rough as he did when he was in Guarma.
It's weird how he slowly just got fucking more rough throughout the game.
Yeah.
It's like he was so healthy at the beginning.
It was actually because you go to meet Sadie, don't you, in the pub?
Yeah.
Saloon, sorry. And that's the moment where he collapses and goes to the doctor. Before I got there, I'd gone to get a haircut and made sure I looked nice and sharp for Sadie. And I noticed as I was sat in the barber chair, looking like shit, I was like, it's not right here. What's going to happen?
There trying to fucking eat baked beans, 10 cans.
Can after can of baked beans, and I don't have the right satchel, so I'm running out.
So I'm moving on to your oatcakes.
I'm starting eating the horse's food as well.
Oh yeah, just eating those apples, baby. I didn't realise that actually your horse could get thinner and fatter.
Your horse can?
Yeah, I think it's really subtle, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, that just brings back the attention to detail.
Do you know that the rabbits, if you chase a rabbit, it will eventually go into a little burrow. They've even added burrows. Isn't that weird? Not weird.
See, that's so cool. I just love that. They take the time to actually include that into the game. I think that's so cool.
I've seen with I think it's on Reddit or something. It's when you get two deers and they're one of them dies and their antlers get stuck together, and you see one trying to escape from the other dead one. And that was crazy.
Wow! To see again, that's another attention to detail kind of thing.
I mean, going back to the character, I really liked the way that they handled diversity in the game and the issues that the time presented.
Yeah, it was still genuine as well. It was still genuine because it wasn't I'm LGBTQI+. or anything too forced like that. It was actually you had strong women characters, and it didn't feel forced or oh look, we're making a statement on the times of now. It was no,
the most forceful one was the suffragette women.
But
that was
the
quite
people
nice.
wanted. Yeah, but that was even then that was just a little tidbit of kind of what was going on at the time. It makes
you realise, that was actually going on back then.
Yeah, because there was still the threat of consequence from that. There was still people who were looking down on it back then. I'm glad they represented that it wasn't just an easy time. It was still
we'll talk about some of the Klansmen that you come across and stuff like that. And
I love seeing those fuckers burn, baby.
They just killed themselves all the time. Every time I found them.
Yeah, I love how they made them so fucking stupid as well. They were trying to set shit up, but it would always end in a few of them dying. Just from a cross falling on them.
I don't know if you guys did this, but I remember going into someone's house that had been dilapidated and gone, and the more you read up about him, you're reading through. I read through all the letters anyway about how he's estranged from his family. I was like, this seems like a nice guy. Yeah, and then you find out that he's actually a massive racist, and then you go find him and confront him. I was like, those are the little stories inside.
I actually saw him and I shot him in the head, and then
I shot him. And I got more honour for it. I shot him in the head and let him fall in the fire.
I thought that was really sick.
With him, I thought I was going to be really cruel. I thought, I'm going to tie you up and do something horrible to you. I threw a lasso around him. As soon as I threw it around him, he
fell in the fire
and he fell in the fire and just died. It's oh well.
I like how he died puzzled, at least.
Yeah. There was another moment kind of similar to that where I went to this campsite area, and I was talking to this guy, and he was saying how there was this recently widowed woman who lived just over the hill, and he's like, oh yeah, I went over to see her, and he's like, oh, she's just by herself, she's pretty weak, and and he goes to walk off, and I looked around his camp, and you can see pictures of naked women and stuff, and you just get that feeling that guy is a fucking creep.
Yeah.
So I just went straight after him, just killed him. I was like, that woman is in danger. I don't know what is going to happen if I leave him.
Exactly, you feel so immersed, and there's so many stories within stories in the game that you just happen upon. In the Snowies, I saw these two frozen couple who'd died, and they
I saw
in
that.
their cold hands was a map, and then you find, but this you just happen upon it. It's only because I saw an X, like for dead people, like corpses, that I noticed that it was even up there.
Have you
and
found
I was just like hunting,
like the bits of people, like the really brutal murders?
Oh yeah, the murderer. Yeah, I haven't uncovered that yet.
I haven't found him yet. But I found a
Gavin, Gav,
where's my mate Gavin?
Gav.
What are you
really missing me
referencing?
Have you not seen Where's Gavin?
Oh,
There's this British bloke who's like everywhere. He's in Saint Denis, he's in Blackwater.
Have you not seen him?
I've not seen him. I've no idea what you're talking about.
He's like, I'm looking for my mate Gavin. Really funny guy. You love him. And he goes through like the whole game.
Mate, that is
not bumped into
8
this
years
guy.
passed. And he's like,
yeah, the
I'm
epilogue
really
is in
sad now.
Blackwater, isn't he?
Yeah, Gav. I don't even remember his face.
Gav!
Oh my god.
I cannot believe
How
this
did
is
I
it.
miss this guy?
This is
I
exactly
love
what
it when
I'm
he just
talking
goes, Gav? In?
Yeah. And then every time you see him, it just says Gavin's friend.
Yeah.
And it's like, you miss chat to
no.
him. I'm looking for Gav. I really miss him, you know.
I can't
I
believe
was
I
so
missed that.
curious about what
Yeah,
happened to
well,
the
this-
fucking Gavin.
This is exactly what I'm saying about us having different experiences.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you...
I
sorry, you continue.
I encourage you guys to like look at homesteads and just like search them and see what you find.
Yeah, I
There's
think that
one
guy
that-
was talking about the widow. It was about a homestead.
Yeah, there's one that I found where there was this couple and they invite you into the house.
Oh,
They
I
see
literally
you.
did that yesterday with the
Yeah,
pig farm.
This
Holy
yeah,
shit.
this- yeah, and these guys, and like, you're meant to just rob a place and then it becomes this whole second story where like something can happen.
Yeah, mate,
I don't
when
really-
you fucking wake up in that pit.
Yeah, you wake up
and you
in
look
like
around,
a
you're like,
sludge.
holy fuck.
You have no money.
Yeah. And that was in the epilogue when I did that. So I had like
really?
16k. I was like, holy fuck.
I did it as Arthur, so I had like $200
Yeah.
that got stripped from me. But that's what can happen. Like, Tom's never even encountered Gavin.
I
Gavin's
know.
friend.
No, but did you go to that barn where, like, you found like a few houses around where the people inside are just like completely charred and they're like their bodies are just black and they look like shit. And
Was that like the meteor house thing?
I don't know, but there's like a note and it says to like come back at like 2 a.m. or something. You
Oh,
go
is that where you
back.
see the spaceship?
Yeah, and like the whole
Yeah.
place just lights up green and there's a
I've
UFO.
never seen that place.
Oh,
No.
it's so
Where
weird.
is
It's a
that?
nice little Easter egg, I guess, but it's
Dan especially, did you like, the first thing I wanted to do during the epilogue was go to like Armadillo and Tumbleweed,
Yeah, I
which
literally
is
went
classic
straight there.
places, and the fact that Armadillo's like got a cholera outbreak and stuff
That
like
was
that,
really interesting.
but Herbert Moon's still in the general store, I shot
Yeah.
him straight in the head.
He's like that. Did you actually?
Because he's a racist.
I
guy's
didn't
like,
remember that bit.
We don't serve Jewish people in this establishment, sir.
Alright, I'll be right back,
And
guys.
stuff
I'm
like
gonna
that.
fucking kill him. No,
But,
I
like,
did like that.
And there's a
such
house
a
that
ghost
just
town.
explodes as I'm riding up to Tumbleweed. A house just straight up fucking exploded, and there was no reason for it. But so
Really?
many random events happen. It just always keeps you on your toes. I'm always on the lookout when I'm riding around.
Yeah,
Even
the
if
only
it's
thing
like a
I'm-
blind man who you want to give money, and one of them like actually isn't blind and tries running away from me.
Yeah. I fucking
Oh.
got him. I tried to steal his money.
I
I think I've
lassoed
ran
him.
over a few actual blind men.
Is this real life
Penny
or?
for your
Red
fuck!
Oh, sorry, we're talking about Red Dead. Oh.
yeah. To digress.
Dead? One thing the blind man actually said to me once. I was in like West Elizabeth, and he mentioned a thing I said to you earlier. It's like how when John decides to take revenge on Micah, he like makes a decision that sets him up for like Red Dead Redemption 1. And he said this really interesting quote that mirrored exactly that. And that was like, it's amazing like how kind of like interesting the stuff the blind man says, because that actually
Yeah,
kind of
I loved it.
reflects
I
the
always
story.
gave him $1 whenever I saw him because I felt like
Nice.
he'd give something that would. It was always like
I was
in
treating him like a
riddles,
fucking stripper, mate. I was just fucking getting bills.
dollar after dollar,
Or 20 grand if you have to.
Yeah.
tucking
Straight
it under his belt.
Thing is, I did that, then I stole it all back from him. He's none the
Actually.
wiser.
Tucking it into his waist, like, come on, baby, give me knowledge.
Give me wisdom, baby.
So did you feel like Arthur's ending was exactly what you'd hoped? He'd done his bit. He'd got everyone
well,
out.
it depends.
He
What
hoped.
ended did you get? Because it's obviously like different with the honour that he has.
Well, I was top honor, so
I was
I had
also
full
maxed
honor.
out the honor.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't
point.
fully maxed out. It was like 3/4, but I think I got the same ending.
Yeah.
Luckily, like Micah didn't shoot him right at the end. Have you seen the other endings?
No, I haven't seen.
No,
the
I
other
didn't know
endings.
there was. I guess there is,
No,
but I didn't.
I
Even
think it's like
consider it.
3 different ones. Like if you get like it's like dishonorable, but you go with John. Basically, Michael will come shoot you in the head and spit on your
Holy
like dead
shit.
corpse, and as he walks off, it's just like pouring down with rain, and you know that final scene where he's like lying down and he like turns his head.
Yeah.
And then you get like a deer kind of like looking at you.
Yeah.
It's
You get the deer. The deer.
when it's dishonorable,
appearing.
it's actually a wolf.
Is it actually?
Yeah, and it's like really
No
dark,
way.
but obviously good honor. It's like really sunny and you see the sunset. But
Yeah, it's like a little
so
sunset.
See,
I think luckily I
thought
got the
it was-
perfect ending for it.
I thought it was really poignant, that deer appearing throughout different points around the time you realise you've got tuberculosis.
Yeah,
Like some kind of like a fever dream that he's having where he constantly sees this. And it just seems so very like a kind of like symbolism. It just seemed like a nice touch.
yeah.
And it got you thinking. And
Yeah, I agree.
you started to like, you really like sort of understood his plight. When I got the news from the doctor, I felt like I just received the news. I was like,
It's
shit, what am I
savage,
going to
innit?
do with this time that I have?
Yeah, I think
But-
I thought probably the most poignant moment was when you get back to the land from Guarma, and you're riding your horse
And the
to.
music plays.
Yeah, then the music kicks
Yeah,
in.
that was so nice.
You're like, oh my god, this is so.
There's
I'm just so
a
relaxed
similar
and
moment.
also so tense.
I love the parallels. The parallels to the first Red Dead Redemption so nice. Without giving any spoilers, like there's a Jose Gonzalez song that plays at a very important moment of the game, and as you're
That's
riding
always
out,
what I look back to, like some of the best moments I've experienced in
Yeah.
gaming. And
yeah,
that
it's
one,
right up there.
that's all I think about. I remember I was only like a young kid, like you don't really tend to think about too much, like when you're that age. But even that, it like hit me even when I was like 14 years
Yeah,
old.
and
It's like, wow, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it sticks with you, doesn't it? It's like
It
the kind
really
of thing
does,
that I'm
yeah.
going to remember. Like when I play it through again, like Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be the same deal, even in my 20s, that Red Dead Redemption was when I was like 15. Like you still remember it. It's one of those gaming moments that you're not really
Yeah.
going to forget.
It's like when you're playing it and you're like, shit, I'm gonna fucking remember this. You know, it's like pivotal at the point.
Yeah,
Um,
like Tom said about when you're riding to save Eagle Flies. That shit I'm going to be talking about
Yeah,
when I talk about
I
cool
love that.
shit that happens.
I really
Like-
enjoyed the last bit when you're playing as John epilogue, the end of the epilogue when you're going up the mountain to
Yeah.
find Micah, and you're just going through, just shredding through about 500 men, just
Yeah.
with your incredible
just
Deadeye skills.
You feel great when you do it.
There's music going along. You're like, fuck you all, fuck
Yeah.
you, and you riding a dick 7 times.
Yeah, the thing is, when there's emotional leverage involved, I feel like I play better. Like I'm like, fuck you and you as well.
Yeah.
I'm like
It's so
headshotting
emotionally
like a
charged.
king.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You are driven by like the shit that's gone down. You're like, I've spent so long trying to kill this bastard.
Yeah.
I've had to literally go through another person to do it. Like one of my first guys dead, so I'm gonna fucking make sure you're dead this time.
Yeah, like normally I try and like take cover and stuff, but during that moment I was like one man army just walking through,
Yeah.
fucking with my like Lancaster repeater, just fucking shit up.
And I was
Like
like, I
golden
knew
repeating
something would
shotgun.
happen to Sadie, but I was happy that Sadie survived.
I loved her. Yeah.
I was
As well
happy
as
that Charles survived.
Charles,
Christ.
yeah, as well.
I
And,
didn't realise how much I liked Charles until like chapter 6. And he's like
And as if-
always by your side, like such a good
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, he was somewhat overshadowed in the first
Yeah.
first couple chapters.
No, for real.
Have you
One
seen
thing
that
I
bit
was
where-
I think that was
Sorry.
deliberate as well because he was
Yeah.
such a prominent part of the end of the game.
he's
Yeah.
normally such a quiet character as well. It's like the mission where you go and find those buffaloes that people had been killing, but they just leave them instead of like taking
Oh,
advantage
yeah.
of what they left behind.
You
And
find
he
the
gets
German
so
family.
angry. He's like, I can't believe they killed these buffalo.
Oh
And it-
yeah, you like straight up kills them in cold blood, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He doesn't spare them at all.
Yeah, because you get the choice on whether to leave those guys to like run or you kill them. But I just killed them straight up.
Mm.
But I thought that was kind of when you get introduced into like what Charles' kind of character is
But there's
and how he
there's
treats
a cool
things.
bit in one of the camps. It's just like a little conversation that you find like conversations going on.
I think I know
you
what
can
you're gonna
interact.
say.
Where Micah is hassling Charles. Is like, I don't know. I think he's saying something pretty racist. I think.
Yeah.
And he's like asking him to get him food, and Charles just picks him up and throws him like 3 meters away. It's like fantastic. Like, yeah, fuck you, Micah.
There was one really cool bit where like Charles like invites you to go on this like hunting mission with you, and I think Arthur invites him, and Arthur says to Charles like, "Will you ride with me?" And then Charles just goes, "Always."
Oh yeah.
I was like, yes.
God damn you.
So cool. Like, and you can get the choice to ride, and I always rode with like Sadie, the sane people I always rode with, the ones who you wanted to help. Like, it really made you want to make that decision, make that call for them. Like, yeah, of course, I'm always there. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, Sadie, I'll go kill the people who fucked up your husband. Let's go fuck them up.
I was quite upset that Javier was it Javier?
Yeah,
Javier Escuela.
Yeah,
there's a reason he's not.
I kind of forgot. I always thought he was like a good guy.
Yeah,
well,
he's a big
really
part of
liked
Red Dead
him.
Redemption 1.
I really liked him in the at the beginning of the game.
Oh, you'll get to know him, Tom.
Thank you.
I think one of the like major bits for me is like, you know, when you go back to, is it Beaver's Hollow? Is that the name of the camp in like chapter 5 or 6?
I think.
Or it's chapter 6. That's the one by like was it Hanover or whatever?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
And then you go and tell Dutch that Micah is basically like talking to the Pinkertons. He's on like their side, and then it separates between like you. Was it? Is it just you, Charles, and John? And then you've got
the woman. What's the
Sadie,
woman's
is it?
name? No,
the old woman. What's she called? Mrs.
Yeah, that old Mrs. Crawford.
Is it?
Because she got shot. She got shot by fucking Micah, I think.
Miss
and then you've got
no.
you've got like Bill Williamson, Javier Escuela, and Dutch like all facing you, along with those 2 other fucktards that Micah had with him.
Yeah.
But that was like
completely.
that is fuck. It's basically over now. Like,
Yeah,
they're
like,
ready to kill each other.
A clear divide in ideals, in what they believe to be right.
I never really felt I got a chance to kind of understand what like Javier and Bill's like ideals were, because they just kind of followed along blindly.
Well, I feel like that was I feel like that was deliberate because of how prominently they feature in Red Dead Redemption 1. It makes me want to go back to Red Dead Redemption 1 actually, and see how my interpretation of the characters and the things I come across change because of what I've experienced. I wonder if they had the idea of this prequel all along, because it seems so well done. I feel like if I go back to Red Dead Redemption 1, it's going to feel more powerful now.
I think they have had to do so much work, like working backwards, because there wasn't really much in the characters from like the first game.
No,
they did so well at like fleshing it out.
And now I'm going to feel differently about these characters now that I've got more of a backstory in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. That's the thing, play Red Dead 1 again, and then replay Red Dead 2 again.
That's what's going to happen. I'm going to like, only true fans play Red Dead 1 and then 2, play 2 and then 1.
So I am the true fan.
So Tom is a true fan.
Yeah.
Except he's still not eligible on the 29th of November to play online with us.
Oh, what a shame.
But what did we think about the epilogue ending then? Did we feel it was right? I thought it was a perfect...
It was really nice. Like when you go around Blackwater with Abigail, I really like that.
It epitomised Dutch's character, the fact that he just shot Micah and then just walked away. The dude's fucking lost it, but he's just kind of... He's helped you, but he doesn't... Because he has no moral spectrum anymore. It's all gone to shit.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what Dutch was thinking in that moment.
Exactly, he's just gone. He's so far gone that it was just...
Thing is, for me, I was like, why didn't he just fucking kill... I don't really know why he killed Micah, though.
Exactly.
I really wasn't expecting him to come out of that little lookout
tower.
nor
me. I thought he was just fucking gone.
I thought they kind of parted. I thought Dutch had kind of got what Micah was about when Arthur died. Yeah. I thought that was it.
Because you can see little bits where it feels like you can kind of see in his eyes, so you can tell Arthur's telling the truth.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought it was like fair. Like the fact that when you complete the epilogue, the trophy you get is called Endless Summer, and that made me feel good. The idea that let's forget, you could play this forgetting that Red Dead Redemption 1 ever happened. John is happy. How this game ends, John is happy with Abigail and Jack and Uncle, and you can just imagine that's like how it ended, you know. And it was nice that like that's it. It's like an endless summer.
Like for me,
nothing bad's happened.
That was kind of added to the fact that obviously I'd never played the first one, so really I don't feel like I've missed out. Obviously, I will go and play it.
It's a lot more powerful.
If this was the first, if this was all we knew, if the first game was this, then you'd have think, how would they have made? How did they manage to continue John's story? That's what like I would think. Like they've managed to create a perfect story in itself in Red Dead Redemption 2. Like as a standalone, it's perfect. Yeah, and it just elevates what my experience with Red Dead 1's going to be. I think it's going to make me enjoy it even more when I go back to that one too.
Do you have any problems with the game?
Well, yeah. The one thing I'll leave on. I don't want to end on like gripes, but like the only thing I'd say that bothered me was like freaking. You only complete a mission and you get like a little medal at the end, so it's either bronze, silver, or gold. You get these stipulations like, oh, complete with 80% accuracy, and you think fair enough, okay, but some of them are so pointless, or some of them are ones that you wouldn't know unless you've completed it and then you go back to it.
And some of literally levels, if you just get lucky when you're fucking playing the mission the first time.
Oh my god, yeah, some of the levels are so random though, and they take forever. It's like, get to this destination before 9.5 minutes. I'm like, dude, if I knew that, I would have like booked it with my horse.
No,
like,
I hated that.
Injected
I
it
never
with stimulant.
Going to a mission. Fuck that, I ain't doing it for a medal.
Well, exactly. Like when I'm chatting to the characters, I'm like riding slow so I can hear what they have to say.
Yeah, I'm like stretching it out just in case I miss anything. Like one line of dialogue.
Because you know, when you hold L2 and you can ask them more questions. I was waiting to see if I could question them.
Yeah, I'd press it every so often. Come on.
Yeah, squeeze some more exposition for me.
Let's milk this cow. Come on.
Well, we won't leave it on your least favourite. What's your favourite thing? What's the one thing that you think makes this game, that places it above others?
I think it's a sign that like it's a big argument that like how important story can be in video games. When people hear about video games, they're always talking about like shooters and there's no depth. There's no it's all style over substance, but like this actually carries weight. This is a story that could be told in a film and it would get critical acclaim. You know, that kind of thing. It's incredibly written. It's full of life. Like there's characterization. If it was there's Western films that I've seen that like are similar to this that are just like great. Like it deserves its place just as like a piece of art.
I totally agree. I feel sorry for people that, even though it's a game, they don't quite understand like how like magnificent this thing is.
Yeah, people who turn their noses up to games, like they should look at Red Dead Redemption as an example of how you can just get an incredible story and an amazing game. Like, you know, they don't have to be separated.
It's weird how like the amount you spend playing like Red Dead, it would be more respectable if you spent the same amount of time just watching like a TV show.
Yeah,
like, people wouldn't bat an eye.
Yeah,
but yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, I've never played a game, and I don't know if I ever will again, where you just get so attached to every part of the world, like even your horse, like Arthur, and like games that have come out recently, like Assassin's Creed. I look at those, I'm like, how the fuck am I meant to play those?
They're all the kind of like same, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game that I'll be talking about when the minute I talk about games, that's going to be the right up there when I talk about great games that I've played. You know, it's always going to be the go-to because they've really set the bar high. Like any other games that come out afterwards, like I almost feel sorry for because it's going to be hard to top.
Well, maybe it'll usher in a new era of incredible story-based games.
Yeah,
I mean, I think God of War did it so well as well. I think that's before this came out. God of War blew me away in like similar ways.
I look forward to playing that. I'm gonna pick that
you
up.
hope that they encourage each other, like these developers. I like when there's like
just
a kind
spend
of
a bit more time,
a friendly bit of competition.
Yeah, friendly rivalries because they're trying to one up each other. Keep doing that because like I want more games like Red Dead Redemption 2. Just like keep going with it.
Yeah.
Spend the time, delay the game as long as you like. Just make a perfect game like this one.
No, it's worth the wait.
It'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's just about ready to wrap that one up, guys. This has been a bumper episode of Notepod because we've had a lot to talk about, but it's been fun.
There's
we
probably
could
still
go
loads
on.
left to talk
Yeah.
about.
Oh, I know. We've barely scratched the surface, but we're going to have to love you and leave you, Dan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you so
Please
much, guys.
check
Thanks
out
for having
Dan's content. Dan,
We'll
where
link
can
you.
we find you?
Yeah, guys, I do bottle reviews. So, of course, if you go to the comment section of any of my videos, you're more than welcome to put some suggestions.
I think it's fair to say that his Lucozade bottle review is the magnum opus of his channel that he has there. We'll link you to that one.
Of bottles.
Seriously, critical acclaim across the board. So we'll link you to that one. But for now, that's the end of this episode of the Notepod. We'll catch you on the next one. Au revoir.
Bye.
We will be back.
We will be back after these short messages. Goodbye.
I just want to say thank you to the Make-A-Wish Foundation for letting me
We're
enjoy
done now,
this.
Dan.